What if I told you there's a place on Earth where the mountains don't rise from the ground, but hang from the sky? Picture a landscape so alien, so impossibly vertical, that for centuries locals believed it was the work of gods. Not rolling hills or gentle slopes, but a forest of stone. 3,000 sandstone pillars, some taller than skyscrapers, piercing the clouds in a silent, ancient kingdom. This is Wulingyuan, a place where gravity seems broken and time stands still. But how did these pillars form? Why do they look like they're floating? And what secrets do they hold within their layered stone? Let's start at the beginning. About 400 million years ago, this entire region was submerged under a vast, shallow sea. For millions of years, sediment, sand, silt, and the skeletal remains of marine creatures settled on the ocean floor. Layer by layer, century by century, it compressed into a thick bed of quartz sandstone. Then the earth stirred. Tectonic forces began pushing the land upward, slowly draining the sea and exposing this solid sandstone plateau to the sky. But this was only the raw material. The real magic was yet to come. Rainwater, slightly acidic from absorbing carbon dioxide in the air, began seeping into the rock. It found the natural vertical cracks, the joints, and started dissolving the calcite cement that held the sand grains together. Freeze-thaw cycles in winter widened these cracks. Plant roots pried them open further. Over millennia, what was once a solid plateau began to fracture into a grid of deep, narrow gullies. Now, imagine erosion not as a gentle wearing away, but as a master sculptor. Water didn't just flow over the surface, it carved downward, deepening the gullies and leaving behind isolated blocks of resistant stone. The weaker rock washed away, the stronger rock remained. And as the surrounding material eroded, these blocks began to stand alone, taller, thinner, more defined. They became the pillars we see today. But why do they look so sharp? So impossibly slender? It comes down to the unique properties of the sandstone itself. It's incredibly pure quartz, hard, resistant to weathering, and nearly uniform in composition. This means it erodes evenly. There are no soft layers to collapse, no weak points to crumble. So the pillars can maintain their dramatic, vertical forms without toppling. Some are over 200 meters tall, yet only a few meters wide at the top, defying every law of structural engineering we know. And then there's the cast process. While true cast usually forms in limestone, Wulingyuan sandstone undergoes a similar phenomenon. Water dissolves the mineral cement, creating features we'd expect to see in limestone landscapes: sinkholes, underground streams, and natural bridges. In fact, one of the most famous sites here is the Natural Bridge, a massive arch of stone stretching between two pillars, carved entirely by water and time. But the pillars aren't just geological marvels, they're living ecosystems. Their surfaces are covered in a mosaic of mosses, ferns, and even small trees that have adapted to grow on near-vertical rock. These plants aren't just clinging on, they're actively contributing to the erosion process, their roots secreting mild acids that further weather the stone. It's a slow, beautiful feedback loop. The rock creates the habitat, and the habitat slowly reshapes the rock. For much of human history, this place was remote, mysterious, and largely inaccessible. It wasn't until the 20th century that Wulingyuan began attracting wider attention. In 1992, it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, described as a spectacular range of sandstone pillars and peaks across most of the site. but words can't capture the feeling of standing beneath them. The sense of scale, the silence, the sheer improbability of it all today, the pillars face new challenges. Tourism brings both appreciation and pressure. Conservation efforts focus on protecting the fragile ecosystems and ensuring that the very wonder that draws people in doesn't contribute to its decline. Walkways and viewing platforms are carefully designed to minimize impact, allowing visitors to witness the majesty without leaving a mark. So the next time you see an image of these stone giants, remember, you're not just looking at rocks. You're looking at the work of an ocean that vanished, the slow patience of rainwater, the push of continents, and the resilience of life itself. A landscape that took hundreds of millions of years to create, standing as a monument to the forces that shape our world. Have you ever visited a place that felt like another planet? Share your story in the comments. We might just explore it in a future video. And if you want to uncover more of Earth's hidden wonders, make sure to subscribe to Wonder Explorer.